So today, just because we had a really long, meaty interview with Dave Jackson. Meaty. It was, yeah, not the beer either, just meaty. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually break this into two segments. We're going to do an interview on Dave Jackson and his career path through the military and beyond. And then we're going to do a second interview with bass guitar, how he learned music, where music has taken him in his career up to today. So that will be upcoming probably in our next podcast show.
I'm riveted.
You're riveted?
I'm already pre-riveted.
It's like Rosie in the river. We got her in the last version.
We did.
Okay, cool. Talk to you in a bit.
Get off my lawn!
What are you doing, man? What do you got going on there?
Okay, go ahead.
Folks, welcome to the Get Off Our Lawn Show from North Carolina. I'm down here with my good buddy Dave Seymour. He is the Doberman to my pincher. He's the clam to my idia. He's the gun to my roses. My show partner, Dave Seymour. And what you folks don't know is Dave was actually the Vibraslap player in a tribute band for the band Man Down Under. So, yeah. How you doing, man?
Doing okay, Dave. How are you today?
If I was any better, I'd be you. So, what folks need to know is, since this is a special event that we're down here live in the Carolinas.
Lean back like you did.
Oh, how's that?
You can do that.
Okay. All right.
All right. That's fine.
So we're testing into configuration because we're together. So I tend to look to a screen down here.
Highly unusual.
Yeah, so you might see me fade a little bit from the camera. We'll look at Dave once in a while, but I'm going to try to look at you folks because you're the important ones. So we're going to go from there. So today's podcast is most unusual because I am down here in North Carolina with Dave. So I'm
vacationing.
I'm vacationing. I'm doing a little decompressing down here with Dave. And it's been most joyous. We've laughed continuously. And if you've seen the pre-show banter before this clip right here, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because it's damn funny. So I'm having a good time down here. It's been great. Pam and Dave have been wonderful. I'm having a great time. But we need to do a show because we're here. So because this is such an unusual event, and this is kind of a new thing for us because we're side by side, we're going to have a safe word. So the safe word for this show is the word cockle.
Cockles.
Now, what happens is if this show goes off the rails, one of us will say the word cockle.
Cockles.
And there'll be a quick, really hastily done edit. And then the show will continue. So right now, Dave will do a sentence with the word cockle.
I haven't had an opportunity to brine my cockles this month.
Oh, if I had a dime. Every time I didn't brine my cockles.
They give me the heart shape, right?
Oh, cockles. Oh, the word. So,
what is that anyway? It's like multi-valve.
It's a bivalve mollusk.
Bivalve mollusk.
Yes.
There was a third word in there too somewhere. Maybe
there was a hard-ribbed shelled bivalve mollusk. I remember that part.
I'm feeling better about that.
I couldn't figure out how the whole cockles of my heart thing came around, so we had to research that too. And that was because your ventricles are shaped like a heart or a cockle.
A cockle is heart-shaped.
Cockle is heart-shaped. That's what it was.
Shell.
A cockle is a heart-shaped shell. Say that 10 times fast.
That's right. 10 times.
So, today's show, Dave is going to interview me because last time I interviewed Dave, so he could figure out what happened to Dave since we walked off the high school ball field back in 1980 when he graduated. So I'm going to turn the helm over to Mr. Seymour, and he's going to talk to me, ask me questions, and we're just going to let it go from there and let it happen naturally.
And did you want to do a quick rundown of the show today, or who's our special guest?
Yeah, nope. Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, no, we can do that. That's absolutely fine. So we're going to do a couple things today. We are going to do the usual OK Boomer segment where Dave is going to read the lyrics, and then I have to figure out the rest of the lyric and the band and the song. We're also going to do a yearbook reading. This is the part I can't wait for. Where I'm going to read from Dave's senior yearbook, and he has to tell me who wrote that particular blurb in his yearbook. I'm going to give him 4 multiple choices in this whole thing.
4
multiple choices. So we're going to do that. What was the other thing we're going to do today? We're going to do.
What? I don't know what we're doing.
We're doing the. Hang on. Stand by.
There was something. Well, we did Eleanor already.
We did point counterpoint. We're doing point counterpoint.
Point. That is right.
You would have thought I had to memorize now. We're going to do point counterpoint.
That was the.
I'm going to take the con, and Dave is going to take the pro, and the subject will be emojis. So you can imagine, Dave will now demonstrate what an emoji is. I will do one that I hate the most. Shoot me now.
Live simulated
emojis. Or this one. The face, whatever.
Or there was, what was the other one?
Yeah. And the drippy face. And
googly eyes with a tongue.
People in your emojis need to get a life. I'm just saying. So, that's the game plan. So,
right,
I'm turning over to Dave, and Dave's going to talk to me, and we're going to find out what happened to me.
So, Dave, we all graduated 1980, June 1980.
Correct.
We had a lovely graduation ceremony out on the football field there.
It was nominal.
It wasn't snowing.
That's true.
The plows weren't out spreading salt.
You don't watch enough Star Trek. Everything's nominal. It's okay. It's nominal.
Oh, all right. Well, this is
good.
It was good. This is exceptional. All right, that's fine.
Okay.
So, after you walked off the field, tell me what you did.
So 30 days later, I went to basic training. Now, just to back up a little bit, I actually enlisted in the Air Force in the fall of '79 during the Iranian hostage crisis. Actually, my wife and I both did.
Now, I was going to ask you about that too. Did you know you were going into the Air Force?
Yeah, I know I was going to go in the military since probably
Okay.
my early teens because of my sister and my brother-in-law being in the military. I just like that whole lifestyle of base housing and commissaries and BXs and tax-free this and, you know, I may go to war, I may not go to war, college, you know, the whole package. So
Okay.
I know I was going in.
No.
So, she actually went in the service 6 months before I did because she graduated a year before us. But in July 31st of 1980, I went into basic training at Lackland Air Force Base. My career field, my assigned career field that I picked was ground radio operator.
Okay.
And my recruiter was Bob Flynn. Ronnie Flynn's brother.
From Dryden.
From Dryden.
Yep. Okay.
And the career field that was explained to me,
well,
actually once I got to technical school after basic training, was not even close.
Right. Well, it was radio technician, right?
It was actually a radio operator, you know, where things come over the wire and you're like Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Tuna.
I can tune your knobs, right? I can turn you the stations.
You know, so
the BBC.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the first 3 days I knew this was like not going to happen. But you're in the Air Force, you got to do what you got to do. So, but I was pretty pissed, and some things happened, and they needed people to be out of that career field. There was some openings in other career fields, and I chose a career field called services. Now I'm at Keesler Air Force Base when this is all going on. So it was a time when I was out of tech school and then waiting for new orders for my new job. So I was kind of like in limbo at Keesler for a while.
All right.
And then
where's Keesler?
Mississippi, Biloxi, Mississippi.
Okay. All right.
Where gambling goes to die. So I was in Biloxi, and then I finally got my new career field, which was called services.
Okay.
Services was then, it's not now. It was lodging, like hotel management, dormitory management, linen exchange, mortuary affairs.
Mortuary affairs.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly that. Exactly what you think it is. And search and recovery, which was aircraft accidents, and you do search and recovery for the remains of whatnot.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
I had no idea.
Yep.
Okay.
So that was the career field. I don't think I'm missing anything. It was like big chunks of that career field. It was a pretty broad career field.
All right.
So I got that, and I immediately got orders for Montgomery, for Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay. One stayed over?
Yep.
Hopped over?
And so I got there, and my job was going to be in what was called billeting, which is lodging. And officers, it's temporary officers and enlisted corps that come in and go to school. They have temporary lodging like hotels.
Okay.
And across the town was Gunter Air Force Station. So there was like a twin base thing in Montgomery.
All right.
And over at Gunter Air Force Station was the Senior NCO Academy and a couple other things going on over there.
Yeah.
Well, they decided to put me over there because there was an opening at the lodging over there. So I eventually only stayed at Maxwell for a few days. And they said, okay, let's send Dave over to Gunter Air Force Station, and he'll work there. And that's where I ended up living.
And how many years were you there?
I was there from 81 to just 82. It wasn't long, maybe a year and a half.
And so when did where did they send you after that?
So then I got orders for England, RAF Bentwaters, England. And
now you were married to Blanche at this point.
I was not. No,
Oh.
I was not. No, I wasn't married then. I proposed while I was in Alabama. And on my way to England, I took leave.
Okay.
And then I got married, which you were, of course, at that time.
Oh, yeah.
I was on my way to England. Yeah.
So it was 81 that you got married then?
82.
82.
82.
Really?
Yeah, 82.
Huh. Okay.
1932. Yep. So I was in Alabama, got orders to England, went home on leave, got married, went overseas to England. Blanche was still assigned to Griffiths Air Force Base in Rome, New York.
Yep. Okay.
So we had to wait for the Air Force to find a slot for her career field, which was ground radio repair.
Okay. Fixing the knobs you pulled off.
Fixing the knobs and the wires. So we had to wait for a slot to open up in RAF Bentwaters so she could get her job over there in Bentwaters.
Bentwater in
England.
UK.
Yep. That was the East Coast, Suffolk, England. If you ever want something interesting, look up the Rendlesham Forest UFO incident, RAF Bentwaters, RAF Woodbridge, England.
What year?
That was in 1980, I believe. I wasn't quite there.
Couple years before you got there.
But that was still a big thing when I was there. That was a big deal.
All right.
Big deal, yeah. Movies about it, YouTube, it's all over the place.
Okay, and how long were you in London, Europe, UK?
We were there for 2 years.
2 years, all right.
But
go ahead.
we were there in England. But again, it was a twin base scenario, just like Alabama was. There was RAF Bentwaters, and then across the woods was RAF Woodbridge, which was an old World War II crash base. And both bases had A-10 aircraft on them. And I worked over Woodbridge. They sent me to Woodbridge. I didn't stay at Bentwaters. They said there was a slot open at Woodbridge. I sent Dave over to Woodbridge, and I was in charge of the lodging office over. Oh, I'm sorry, not the lodging, the dormitories over Woodbridge. I was dormitory management,
All right. Okay.
which was a whole other podcast or show. It was nutty. Military dorms, nutty.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
So we were in England, and in 1983, our son AJ was born. He was born at RAF Lakenheath, England. And in 1984, before we left England, I didn't want to be in that career field anymore.
in the dormitories.
In the services career field.
All right. Yep.
And you can actually apply to retrain into something else if the Air Force has a slot for it.
Yep.
And so I was so enamored by the aircraft, the A-10s.
Yep.
I said, I really want to be part of that whole world. So I applied for various aircraft-based career fields, and I got jet engines.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, I was very excited about that.
Right.
And
that's quite a bit of difference from dorms.
yes, and that affected where I was going to go to when I rotated back to the States.
All right.
So we got sent to Castle Air Force Base, California, which is right in the middle of the San Joaquin Valley, which was the Strategic Air Command training base for B-52s and KC-135 crews. So the first aircraft I worked on with engines was the B-52s and KC-135 tankers, refueling tankers.
Okay.
And it was the
big planes.
Yeah, for you old aircraft type, the G model B-52, which had water injection, not turbofans, turbojet with water injection. Very cool. And same thing with the tankers. It was water injection. It wasn't turbofans.
Okay.
So anyways, so we went to California. Was there from '84 to '87.
Okay.
I worked in the phase dock, which is just a place where they bring the aircraft in, tear them every so many flying hours. They tear them down, inspect, and put them back together. You know, do all the checks, and then they give them back to the squadrons.
Yep.
So it was a cool job. It was difficult because I wasn't really a maintenance kind of guy. I wasn't really a hands-on guy back. So I had to learn quickly how to be a mechanic. That wasn't my thing. My dad didn't teach me engines.
Oh, you weren't into making.
I was into mechanics, so I'd learn quickly.
Yep. Okay.
So then,
Yep.
in '87, I got orders for Torrejon Air Base, Spain.
Wow.
Yeah, we were very excited about that. And
What
I
year
got-
was that? 87. Okay.
87.
All right.
So my job there was the jet engine test facility. I actually worked in the Hush House. And the Hush House is it's like a soundproof hangar. Exactly. No, you're on the right thing.
All right.
It's a soundproof hangar where you can do one of two things. You can back the jet in and you tie it down, and it's got these all these special air devices and tubes that make the jet you can't hear it from the outside. So when
Okay.
you run the jet, even a full afterburner,
Oh, you run the full jet inside
the
this
jet,
facility.
yep, you tie it down,
Can't
and you
see
run
it.
it for maintenance checks. Whatever maintenance checks you got to run for, you can run the engine
Right.
all up to full burner. But you can also run what's called uninstalled engines. So we had a test bed that you could roll out,
Clamp them down.
put the engine in, get all the test equipment hooked up to it, and then test the engine, which is what I did.
Okay.
And it was a great job. It was an amazing job. It was just fun. Testing jet engines was just a hoot. You know, they might blow up, it might not blow up. Of course, they hardly ever blew up, but it was a lot of
Hardly
fun.
ever.
It was a lot of fun. And yeah, we did 4 years there, and in 91, this is kind of a side cool story real quick. So there was a point in time right before Desert Shield.
Okay.
I was in charge of the test facility. I was the NCOIC in charge of the test facility. Usually it's a tech sergeant or a master sergeant. They didn't have anybody, so I was in charge of it. And the entire base, the Air Force bases have, and even the Army, Marines, and Navy they have what's called IG inspection, Inspector General.
Okay.
And that's when this entire team flies in from DC or wherever, the Pentagon, wherever.
Run them all up.
And every shop, all these specialist inspectors go to all these shops in the entire base, and they see how your operations running is up to code,
Up to snuff.
up to regulation,
Yep,
things
yep.
like that. It's very tense because you could lose your job over that stuff. You could
Right.
get them out of that.
You could be back to the dorms.
You know, is everything running safe? Are your regulations right? I mean, just really intense inspection. So we spent weeks getting ready for the IG, and I was the NCOIC. So this was like a big deal in my career.
Right.
Will Dave pass the IG inspection?
Because normally it's a higher rank.
Yeah. I'm a young NCO, and it was just crazy. So the day of, I go on the base early. I want to make sure everything's fine, all my ducks in a row, everybody's looking sharp, and I drive on the base to Torrejon, and something was amiss. And I drove past. The IG team had showed up a day before that day.
They were early.
They were early, but the day that they were coming to my shop was like a couple days after. They don't do everything all at once.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's like a 4 or 5 day period.
Yeah, they had their own schedule.
Right, they don't schedule. So I get there, I get on base, and all the IG, they have their own cars when they're there. They're treated like distinguished visitors. They have their own vehicles. Well, and they were all typically in front of lodging, or for some reason they stationed them in front of the recreation center. So it was all these vehicles that you were out there. They were all gone. They were just gone. And I'm like, where'd the IG team go? So I get into my shop, and our maintenance chief for the maintenance squadron I was in calls me over to the main engine shop we worked for, and said, start getting all your test cell gear ready for deployment. Why? We just kicked off things because things are happening in Iran and Saudi Arabia, and Desert Shield kicked off.
Oh.
Yeah, Desert Shield kicked off. So
it interrupted your trip, their trip, your evaluation.
Yeah, that for the whole base. They just left.
Right.
Desert Shield,
Gone.
or they just left, gone.
Yep.
Now we're in prep for war mode.
Yep.
So the bottom line is you got to get ready for Desert Shield.
Mhm.
And so the 91 Desert Shield thing happened.
Yep.
And I didn't get deployed from Spain. I stayed right there. So we got all the engines, all the spare engines ready for battle, for flying for battle.
Mhm.
And then we shipped them over to the AOR, Area of Responsibility, which is all the bases in the desert where our plane. We had 3 squadrons in Torrejon. They all left. They all went to either Turkey or Qatar. So I mean, they just all got deployed.
Gotcha.
So we had to get all the spare engines ready to go, and send them over there to those guys.
Mhm.
And if engines got dinged up because of battle, they came back to us. The engine shop would fix them, go back to test cell, we test them out, ship them out again back
Okay,
to
so the
the
repair
factory.
facility was back in Spain. You would fix them up, ship them
Yeah,
back
we
out.
ship them back out. We test them. Yeah,
Okay.
the main engine shop would rebuild them. We test them. Go back to the engine shop. They pickle them and they'd send them back to the war zone.
Gotcha.
So Desert Storm, Desert Shield was done. Now we're in the ceasefire mode. Northern Watch and Southern Watch, Operation Northern Watch, Operation Southern Watch.
Okay.
And then I got orders for Dover Air Force Base, Delaware. So now we're 91. Spring 91.
Okay.
That was really weird because when we came back from Desert, so that's right after everybody started coming back from Desert Storm, Desert Shield.
Wrapping it up.
Wrapping it up. And what happens in the spring? What's the big holiday in the spring that has to do with military? It's Memorial Day, right?
Memorial Day.
Well,
I
we're
didn't know if you were
coming back. Yeah,
Okay.
we're coming back, and then so everything's parades and yellow ribbons, and
Well, and you just kicked butt over there too.
we just decimated them. We won. Everybody. I mean, it just went really well.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. The whole thing went really well. From a military standpoint, it was completely brilliant.
Yep.
And we went back to parades and our town mayors, and they put us in parades and just the whole spiel.
Yep.
While I was on leave before I went to Dover, so we went home and did all that, and we went to Dover. And at Dover, I had many jobs at Dover Air Force Base. Dover Air Force Base was at that time was the Military Airlift Command, now the Air Military Command, and it was all C-5Bs, the big cargo aircraft,
Right.
the biggest one.
Yep.
And when I started there, I was working at the jet engine test facility there. So we're testing the
Okay.
big, huge C-5 motors.
Yep.
And,
Okay.
and I did that for not quite a year, and then a bunch of us they needed people on the flight line to work on the flight line. So a bunch of us, there was a few. The test cell had civilians and GIs working on it, and they took all the GIs, and they said, "Okay, you guys are going to the flight line. We need help on the flight line." So they just transferred to a different squadron. We went to the flight line. I just started working on the C-5s directly, on the engines on the C-5s directly.
Gotcha.
That was awesome. And then I had that job there, and then I had what's called an expediter job because as I increased in rank, you don't become you're no longer a wrench turner, you're more in management. You increase in rank.
All right.
So you get to inspect jobs. You're responsible for various maintenance crews and whatnot like that.
Okay.
And I was an expediter on the flight line for a while, which means you get the people to the planes, you monitor the missions, you work with the production super. It was a management flight line job. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then I got to work at I didn't work at the command post yet. I was still on the flight line.
Yep.
And then in 97, so we're talking 91. Oh, I'm sorry, 93. Let me back up. 1993, I was honored with a position of bass player for Air Force's Tops in Blue.
Yeah, we'll come back to that too.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that.
So you had a little gap in there.
So 91, 93, I was on the flight line doing maintenance. And in 93,
Yep.
I was selected to be a part of the team for Tops in Blue in 1993.
Yep.
So I was gone from Dover from May of 93 till March of 94.
Yep.
Then back to Dover again to resume my
Position.
aircraft responsibilities.
Yep.
When I got back to Dover, they put me in the command post at Dover.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. So it was literally that. You're inside this, no windows, the command post, and it's literally the heartbeat of the base. And it's done in sections where it's there's the maintenance side of the command post, the aircraft crew side of the command post, the cargo side of the command post, and then there's the senior officer in charge of all that. And it's literally the coordination of all the cargo, the crews, the maintenance of all the entire fleet, both off station and there at Dover. So it was, I mean, it was one of the coolest jobs ever because you knew everything was going on around the world. You knew where your aircraft were, you knew the status of all your aircraft. You had to make command decisions. Does the airplane fly? Is it fully mission capable? Is it not fully mission capable?
Yes.
We had responsibilities for the space shuttle. We had a red book.
You had a space shuttle responsibility.
Yeah, so when you were at the command post, if you were someday as a master sergeant, we alternated. There was 3 master sergeants, and you alternated who was going to be the senior controller for the maintenance side of the command post.
Okay. All right.
And not only were you in charge of everything on the flight line and all the birds off station as far as maintenance was concerned.
Yep.
So when the space shuttle takes off,
Mhm.
Dover Air Force Base was the alternate landing strip if it has to abort before it makes orbit on that coast. So during the launch sequence for the space shuttle, everything shuts down at the base. Everything just is done. Everybody gets off the base, things cleared, everybody's away. Certain vehicles are put in position. You have a special book out that you have to go through procedures. special phone. It was
in case you were being
in
used.
case Dover was picked to have that thing glide
to have
into
an emergency situation.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was really cool. So there was that. So that was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And then, 97, I got asked to be part of the team again for Tops and Blues as tour director. And I did that for about 5 months.
Yep.
And then came back to Dover again.
Yep.
And then the Air Force decided it had too many master sergeants in my career field. This is where the worm turns. Yeah, this is where the worm turns.
Gotcha.
There's too many master sergeants in my career field. And the Air Force needed volunteers for master sergeants to retrain into something else.
Okay.
Now you're at like an 18 years in your military service.
Right.
You don't want to go through technical school again. You don't want to be a
Again.
pipeline student. You don't want to go through all that stuff again.
Yep.
First of all, you're not going to get promoted to any more rank because you're like a new student again.
Because you're going to be like a junior
Yeah.
staff.
Even though you got the rank, and even though I was a 9-level engine troop, now I'm a 1-level avionics troop.
Right.
And doing a promotion board is not going to promote you. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
In theory, but it's true. So I didn't want to do it. I was totally mad because my career was going boom, boom, perfectly. Just bam, bam,
It
bam.
had at least a trajectory.
Oh, it was going great. I was going to go past 20. I was going to go well
Oh,
past
you were
20.
going to go more.
Oh, I was absolutely going to go.
Oh, I didn't realize you were going to sign up again.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
going to go to 30. Absolutely going to go 30. That was the game. That was the game plan.
Gotcha.
But this new
arrangement
changed things. So I went up to chain of command to fight it, and I lost. So I said, okay, here's the deal. You can make me a Slavic crypto linguist for all I care. At my 20-year mark, I will be retiring and you will lose me. Not that they really care, but
Yeah.
I will be done.
Right.
So put me in any career field. I told them, I'm not going to pick. Just put me in any career field you want to.
got no
Because in 2 years in July,
I'll be done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So literally 24 hours later, I had a new career field and a new base of assignment. Our new career field was F-16 instruments and flight controls.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's fascinating.
And that's not bad. That's
I'm digging that. That's something else to put in the resume.
Right.
So I had to go to tech school back in Texas at Lackland. First tech school was basic electronic principles.
Yep.
Then I had to go to Shepherd Air Force Base for the actual career field for instruments and flight controls.
Where's Shepherd?
It's up to the left of Dallas and Fort Worth.
Okay, so it's outside the Dallas area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the town.
That's right.
You guys will tell me. I can't
You're in Texas.
remember. Yeah, somewhere in Texas, North Texas.
Mhm.
And I got there to my maintenance squadron, and I stroll in. I didn't take the family because I was only going to be there 2 years. I kept the
Right.
family in Delaware because we just
Keep
built
them
a
in
house.
Delaware. You just built the house.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, my daughter, I apologize, dear. My daughter was born in Spain in 1987. So my son was born in England in 83. My daughter was born in Spain in 87. I'm sorry, my dear.
And do they maintain dual citizenship,
No.
or is it all American?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right,
We
you
had
said-
if I remember right, in Spain we had the option, but we were like, no.
Okay. All right.
For something to the effect of, and I seem to remember if you had dual citizenship, something about their military. Anyways, we just said
Oh, okay. So you might have had some obligation
Yeah, we just
to
said,
Spain. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
so we said no. But again, my daughter was born in 87 in Spain.
Okay. All right.
So the family stayed in Delaware.
Mhm.
I got a little small trailer, me and my cat, in Shepherd Air Force Base after tech school, and I get to my maintenance officer, and he says, actually the maintenance senior NCO, and he said, Dave Jackson, so glad to see you. You're going to be in charge of all the specialists in the squadron. We're going to put you. You're in charge of all the specialists, all the avionics, the hydraulic troops, the electrical troops, the engine troops, APG, all of them. You're going to be in charge of all the specialists. That's great, Chief. I'll do whatever you want me to do. But you should know something. I am a 3-level, just out of tech school, instruments and flight controls troop.
Uh-huh.
Why? What? What's going
Right.
on
He's
here?
like,
Oh, he was completely shocked, blown away.
right.
And I said,
Here's my path.
this is what happened. They just involuntarily decided I had to go on my career field. They didn't get any volunteers. They just made a decision. Jackson's going to go.
You.
Yep. And so here I am. And by the way, in a year and a half, I'm retiring.
Yeah. And he's like floored.
In July, he's just flabbergasted. He said, "How did they do this to me?" Then he turned. He said, "Jackson, they screwed you. I'm sorry. I'm appalled they did that. Why don't you come back tomorrow? I have an idea of what you might be able to do.
Do.
Come back tomorrow for the next year and a half." Hey,
Hey, look at
and
that.
look at this. We have a guest here. So I come in the next day,
Yep. Okay.
and he says, "Here's what we got." He says we have 72-ish jets here, and we just started doing a conversion of our jets. So the AVTR system, audio visual tape recording system.
Mhm.
If I think I got that right.
They all had 8 tracks.
Yeah, basically they're small cassettes, but they weren't quite cassettes and weren't quite
It was
8
like
tracks.
the Sony Microsoft.
Yes, correct. That's exactly right. And
What a
there
guess.
used to be 3 tapes that when the pilots came to the jet and they pre-flighted the jet, there was
Yep.
3 tapes. They put it, boom, boom, boom. One for the HUD, one for voice, one for all the instrument controls.
Is that the black
Three tapes.
box?
No, it's not the black box.
Okay,
This is
okay.
just a complete recording system.
7. Okay. All right.
It just recorded everything that happens in the cockpit.
Yep.
And
For later use.
for later use.
And evaluation.
Yeah.
Quality
And
control.
so that was getting retrofitted to a 1-tape system.
Okay. All right.
So all the jets were just being retrofitted to that, and the guy that was in charge of that team was retiring.
Ah.
So they said, "Dave, we're going to put you in charge of the AVTR team, and you have 5 airmen and NCOs and 10 contractors."
Okay. All right.
And what happens is the F-16 comes in, they gut the cockpit, do a whole bunch of rewiring, waveguide comes in, waveguide goes out, a whole bunch of stuff. They do all, I mean, they take the ejection seats, everything comes out, they gut the cockpit, they gut some of the nose of the jet, do all that stuff, put the jet back together. We take the jet off the flight line, run it, make sure everything's working good, and get it back to the squadron. So he had about 12 jets done by the time I got there. So we had another 60 jets to do in a year and a half.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah.
60 jets.
So we were doing about 2 or 3 a week.
2 or 3. That's a big job.
Yeah. So we were humping.
Yeah.
And just an interesting side story. And about jet, so the contractors would swap out like every few months. There'd be a new set of contractors coming from General Dynamics, wherever they came from.
Okay.
It wasn't,
all right.
it wasn't the same group.
Now, General Dynamics knew the system.
Yeah, it was their mod.
Okay. It was
I think it was General Dynamics. I don't quote me on that, but it was some contractors from some place that
contractor.
came in,
Yep.
did the mod. RGIs facilitated taking the stuff out of the jet for them. They did the mod. RGIs put the stuff back in the jet. We go test the jet.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So the highlight of that job was you assume everybody knows their job. My GIs knew their job. The troops that worked for me knew their job.
But you had no idea about the
The
contractors.
contractors, you assume they know their job.
Right.
But sometime, I don't know, 6
There
or
were
7 months
Little
after-
signs, little flags.
Well, what happened was I overheard a conversation when one of the contractors was talking to another contractor while I was walking on the jet. And he said, "Well, I had to do this. I had to route this wire to do this to ensure the signal worked to this black box to do this."
Okay.
And so I immediately went, "What's going on?"
Tell me about that. Tell me some
He
more.
says, "Well, we had to change something up."
Okay.
And these guys had specific,
Instructions.
yeah. I mean,
with a plane, you got to follow
Yeah.
A, B,
yeah. There's no deviation.
There's no deviation.
No
'Cause it's like,
deviation.
I'm going to mask. I'm
When
going
we
to
come
take
to
this
find
wire
out,
over
this
there.
particular contractor or this particular team decided to make a deviation for
Oh,
and didn't tell anybody.
non-documented deviations.
Yeah.
It's all bad.
Yeah,
Yep.
for to make something work what he thought better or easier or something for 9 jets, and they were already out there on the flight line.
Oh gosh. So did you have to recall them
So, well, I had to go to my chief,
and say,
and because I had to brief my chief at the end of every day. I had to go to the staff meeting and say, "This is what's the status of this tail number.
Yep.
This is the status of this tail number." This is,
we have done this.
and before even the meeting, I just went straight to his office and says, "We have to ground X amount of jets."
Yep.
What's called a red X means it can't fly,
Correct.
and they have to come back to us because this contractor did this. And we have to redo those jets, and yeah, so that was crazy. But we got through that.
Yeah, people are always happy about that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
we got through that. The
Yeah.
jets were deemed, we fixed the jets. The kind was done the right way. Planes went back out.
Yeah.
So that was done. We got the jets done early. I want to say 3 or 4 months.
The extra 60.
Yeah, we got everything done early. All the jets were good to go. And so, what are they going to do with Master Sergeant Jackson for his last 4 or 5 months?
Really? You were that early? You were
Yeah, we
you were
knocked
like
them
half a year
out.
early?
Yeah, we were way early.
Wow.
And
okay.
they made me the safety NCO for that squadron, which is basically,
Yeah, you walk around.
yeah, are you doing okay here? Checklist.
Got your hat on?
Everything good.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, we had an ID inspection while that happened too. So we passed with flying colors. And then I had a very nice retirement ceremony.
Okay.
And Carlene Edmonds was there.
Very nice.
Because they live in South Carolina.
Was this in Delaware then?
No, this is in South Carolina. So we're still in South Carolina.
Wait, how'd you get from Dallas?
Oh, I'm sorry.
How'd you get from Dallas?
Oh,
to
yes,
Carolina?
yes. Let me back up. Yes, my final assignment after tech school was in Sumter, South Carolina.
Okay, so they
Yes.
moved you from Texas to South Carolina.
After my tech schools, I went to South Carolina. I bypassed that part.
Yep. All right.
So I was in South Carolina. So a couple of our classmates came to my retirement ceremony, and I had a very nice retirement ceremony. I had some extra leave, so I could leave early.
Mhm.
Went back to Delaware, gave the wife and the kids a hug, and said, "We're done.
We're done. All right.
We are done." And since 2000, we lived in, we lived in Delaware the family lived in Delaware from 1991. I came back to Delaware in 2000 after that couple years in South Carolina.
Yep.
And I took some civilian jobs. Civilian jobs. That's an old school statement. I took a job with Comcast Cable.
Yep. In Dover.
Yep, in Dover.
Yep.
From 2000 to 2007.
Okay.
And then I took a job with Verizon, my current job in Pittsburgh.
Did Verizon buy Comcast?
No. Two completely separate, totally viable, functional.
All right. Yep.
companies.
Two different
I just was offered a real nice job in Pittsburgh by one of my former bosses at Comcast,
Right.
who also took a job in Pittsburgh.
Now your daughter works for Comcast, right?
No, she works for Armstrong Cable, another cable company up where we live in.
Okay, because somehow I thought she was the link to move to Pittsburgh was to follow the daughter or not.
No, she followed us.
Okay, she
Yeah,
followed
she
you.
followed us. We went to
Okay.
Pittsburgh for a new job,
All right.
and her family 6 months later
Followed along.
came along.
We're going with the family.
Yep.
Okay, very good. All right.
So the only caveat to this whole story is in 2006 we lost our son AJ on a motorcycle ride. So that was right before, that was kind of the decision to change things up a little bit. My job was great in Delaware, but having said that, if I stayed, that whole thing, operation shut down. Everything got moved out of Delaware. It's no longer there.
Yep.
It's all been
They're-
centralized
Well,
in
yeah.
Maryland. It all just went away. So even if I had stayed, I had to find something else. So my decision to go to Verizon was totally brilliant. And I'm now.
And it fit the thing, and it offered a change.
Yep, it offered a change away from everything there was all the memories in Delaware.
Yep.
And so we went to Pittsburgh, lived north of Pittsburgh, and I got another 16 months till I can retire from Verizon.
Very cool. So that brings us up to today.
Up to today. And today's show is sponsored by one of our favorite sponsors, Parsons Pickled Cockles.
Nothing says love at a family gathering more than a jar of Parsons pickled cockles, found only at the finest purveyors of comestibles.
So the next segment we're going to do is, who wrote this in my yearbook?
Oh,
I have Dave's senior yearbook right here.
The padded, squishy
Padded,
one.
squishy senior yearbook, class of 80.
Still fresh.
Yes. It smells like 1980.
It smells like Teen Spirit.
So what I'm going to do is I have picked what somebody wrote in Dave's yearbook. I'm going to read it to him, and then I'm going to give him 4 choices of who we think it is. Okay, so we're going to do that. All right. The light is low in here, but I'll give it my best shot.
And the answer is not Spider-Man.
The answer is not Spider-Man.
All right. Okay.
That would be
All right.
awesome. Dave,
All right.
may you never run out of gas when you don't want to,
Okay.
and always run out when it's convenient. Best of luck out there in the cruel world. Stay happy, healthy, and in touch. Love and stuff.
Love and stuff.
Love and stuff. So was this?
That's like an HR Puffin stuff.
Yeah,
Love and stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Was this
Yep. Okay.
A, Lori Munson, B, Rick Page,
Okay.
C, Sherry Case,
Okay.
or D, Marie Matze?
Okay. So I'm going down. I'm narrowing down. It's not Marie Matze.
Okay.
Not Rick Page.
Okay.
It would either be Lori Munson or Sherry Case. I'm going to go with I'm going with Sherry Case.
Indeed, it was Sherry Case.
Nailed it. Finally, I win a game.
Yay, you won a game. Nice job. All right.
The reason the reason I say that, right?
Yeah.
Because only certain people would know that I ran out of gas.
Well, and I thought, a lot of guys would know that, but they wouldn't write love and stuff. If it was a guy.
Well, it wouldn't go there. Well, I don't know. Rick might.
Rick might.
I don't know. He could be.
Who knows?
He gets honorable mention
I don't
for being love and stuff, right?
Honorable mention. So we are now
Go.
going to do, this next segment is called Point Counterpoint, or Pro and Con. I'm going to do the subject. I will be the con and Dave will be the pro. All right. The topic is emojis. All right. Dave, you rectal insectoid.
Are you going to make the point to me or are you going to make it to the camera?
No, I'm going to make it to you.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Emojis suck.
Emojis.
You shouldn't be using them. You don't get to talk yet. This is the con. You get your pro here in a minute. Emojis suck. They're for lazy people. People already use their thumbs. They don't want to call. So why are they, if you're too lazy to send me, how you doing, Dave, versus or whatever emojis, I got no time for you. Type the thing out. Give me a call. Do something like that. Emojis suck. You're lazy. Don't be lazy. Get with the program. I don't care how many thousands of emojis you got. They're worthless. I'm not reading emojis. I didn't take an emoji class. All right? There's nothing out there that says emojis are good. They suck.
I kind of like them.
Yeah, you freaking would. And that was Point Counterpoint.
Now point counterpoint for the hard of hearing.
Yes. Dave says they're great.
I gotta go on. Dave says they're great. That was perfect. Thank you very much for that point.
No problem.
And counterpoint.
I know what you're saying. 2 Daves. Why 2 Daves? Why are you being so greedy? Why can't you spare Dave back out in the world? Because we're not going to spare Dave today. So we are back for this segment, folks. This is the segment where Dave is going to read a song lyric from our era, pre-1980. That's correct, right? Pre-1980?
Pre-1980.
Pre-1980. And I have to either guess the lyric or guess the band or guess the...
You got to give me as much information as you can
Much information as I can.
about this particular item
Okay.
or this particular song.
Okay.
And yes.
Okay.
So
Here we go.
what I'm going to do
Okay.
is I'm going to read the lyrics, and there are backup singers during the verse,
Backup singers during the verse.
and I will simulate the backup singers in a slightly different voice
Oh, this
than the main song.
So you're going to actually sing part of the
Right.
chorus?
I'm gonna no.
No.
This is like a call and response during the verse before the chorus, and I will sing as a backup singer
Okay.
to the response of the main vocal line.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go.
All right. So here it is.
All
You
right.
ready?
All right. Go.
All right. Falling in love was the last thing I had on my mind. Holding you is a warmth that I thought I could never find. Sitting here all alone, just trying to decide whether we go alone or stay by your side. Then I stop myself because I know I could cry. I just can't find the answers to the questions that are going through my mind. Hey, babe.
I know this.
You do?
I know this.
It was the backup singers I know that got the key, right?
Oh, I know this.
Time is ticking.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait too long.
Tick,
I don't want to.
tick, 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 tick.
Gosh, go. I'm sorry. Go. What is it?
John Waite and the Babies.
Oh.
The name of the song is Isn't It Time? Isn't it time?
Oh, see, I should have known that. I'm such a silly goose. I should have known that.
So
Was that a top 10 hit? Was that was that a top 10 pop hit?
yeah,
that
was on the radio.
Well,
Isn't it time? Like that.
no. It's just like he was here right now.
It was just like he was here.
Just like he was
I
here.
looked him up the other day. I didn't realize he played bass and sang for that band.
Oh wow!
Did you know that?
Shut up and call me Stinky.
John Waite was singing bass and singing for the Babies,
How
and
long-
then into his solo career as well.
During the comeback tour, the Vapor Trace tour for Rush, John Waite opened for Rush.
No way, John Waite
Opened for Rush at the New Jersey.
the New Jersey Coliseum, right?
It was called the Tweeter Center. The Tweeter Center. I'm not kidding. It was called the Tweeter Center.
Did it generate much tweets?
Well, I don't think it was tweeting then. There were still chaps then.
There,
No, we weren't chaps then.
there were MySpace, and where's Tom when you need him, right?
So, folks, there you go. There's the song that I missed. What was the title again?
Isn't it time?
Isn't it time? So, folks, this is the back end of the. We're going to say goodbye. This is the back end of the show. Just a little note here. We're probably going to have to change the name of the show due to conflicts in the interweb. For right now, it is tentatively called "Get Off Our Lawn Show," not "Get Off My Lawn Show." So, Dave and I will see you next time. It's been a pleasure down here in North Carolina, hanging out with the big dog here. It's been a hoot. It's been fun.
I must admit, we've had more fun in the last 4 days.
I have laughed more than I have ever laughed.
Well, I don't know. No,
well, maybe. That's pretty close.
in a long time, we have not laughed that much.
Yes.
I will give you that.
There will be stories. That could be its own other show.
It could be another show of the visit.
There was a little bit of chicanery down here. We had a lot of fun. So,
We were entertained all weekend.
so
Excellent.
we will see you folks later at the next show. Until then,
Thanks for
goodbye.
joining us. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to
Yes.
get notifications.
A thumbs up, a like would be great.
A like and a view would be great. Follow us around on Facebook and on YouTube. Thanks very much for joining us. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Falling in love was the last thing I had on my mind.
You know what?
What's that? You just-
Holding you is a warmth that I thought I could
Fake laugh.
never
Fake
find.
laughter. 3, 2, 1.
Just trying to decide or stay by your side. I know I could cry. I just can't find the answers to the questions that keep going through my mind. Hey babe, isn't it time? It's your time to wait. Falling in love could be your mistake. Isn't it time?
So here's what I remember. I remember there was like an apartment here. The couches were split here. There
Yeah.
was like a stairway, a bicycle. Here was like a half bedroom. Here was like a whole bedroom. Now I was trying
Don't
to
forget about Annie's bedroom when the raccoons come in.
right.
either.
The raccoons were also coming out of the ceiling with like down
Yeah, in the bathroom, right? Yeah.
Okay, so you got like a call or a Facebook message or text message?
Yeah,
from
I got a
Wilson?
video message
Okay.
asking about how to get rid of raccoons
Raccoons
in your
That
apartment.
are like falling out of the ceiling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That later involved
What do you,
little tiny water bottles as
Right.
grenades.
Well, he tipped over I think he tipped over the couch and
Yeah.
was throwing
He used it as a fortress.
pony-sized water bottles.
Right. He
trying
used
to
it as
put-
like a fortress to try and get the raccoon
What the
out
hell's
of the
going on here?
apartment.
What the hell's going on here?
We were just reminiscing
Yeah.
about some old raccoon problems that we had once upon a time.
Yeah,
So phone call.
Raccoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, raccoons.
You,
Yeah.
Is your mom still around? Is Pam still gone away?
Yeah, Mom's out
She's still
now.
gone.
She's out. She's out for until Saturday night.
That's
I
why
think
we're
it's
telling
like-
these stories.
That's why we're telling the stories
Yeah.
now.
You guys wanna try something crazy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe heighten your senses a little bit, maybe a little nutty.
Ooh, heightened senses and nutty.
Absolutely.
I can pretty
Especially
much,
right before I have to go to
I
bed.
can pretty much guarantee your safety.
Guarantee our safety.
Okay, hang on a
Okay,
second.
all right.
Let's just stand by.
All right. So I remember him calling you and throwing water bottles at the raccoons, and then like going behind. Oh, so here's our server.
So, what we have here is, actually I got this in reverse order. This is for you.
There you go.
This is in some lands, in some continents, it would be rude and unacceptable to try this.
Should we try a safe word at this point?
No, there's gonna be no safe word yet because we're
No.
not going to be safe.
All right.
Obviously not with the program here, young man. So what we have here is, again, in some continents, this is the thing to do. So, in many foreign lands. So I have-
Incontinence?
not in continents, that's you. So what I have here is, these are all sardines.
All right.
These are Ritz crackers.
Yeah.
That's sardines and just water, just basic water, sardines.
Okay.
That's sardines and mustard sauce, my fave.
All right.
This is sardines and Louisiana hot sauce.
Sounds great.
Now what you have to try is, and it doesn't matter which order you try them in, because they all have different heights of, where to take your senses you might go.
Oral stimulation.
Yes. You don't know where they might take you.
Uh-huh.
So you may pick whichever one you want. Maybe put some on a cracker, and then enjoy a
You got a trash can so I can barf?
Yes, I can do that.
We got some napkins and some,
And a glass, and a big glass of water. Like a whole liter.
do you want like a Coke or something?
Why don't you hook your daughter up with a crackers and
A
sardines?
cracker and some sardines.
Yeah, I'll find a bar.
All right, we'll edit out this little like setting up some. All right. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
All right, so here's some napkins.
You know, fish is at like the bottom of the
The food chain.
of the
for
food
Eleanor.
of the food chain for me, right?
Do you want?
No, I did not. That's even better.
Do you want?
I hope
Diet
you
Coke
appreciate my
or a
face.
Sprite or something.
Whatever you got.
You want like
Something to rinse it
you
down.
want like something like this?
Yeah,
Or do
why
you want
not?
Sprite?
We could do a Coke.
Okay.
Something to rinse it down.
Or at least that. Now, do you want a cup of ice or do you want just a warm one?
Not a warm one's fine. We'll continue on with the room temperature.
The sardines shouldn't be room temperature. They've been chilling.
They've been
Chilling.
chilling.
They were just for a little bit. Yeah,
Were they caught today?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
out,
yeah.
out in the creek.
Yeah, caught in the creek, and we
I was out all
Marin-
night
we-
spearing
Yeah.
sardines.
we marinated them gently with just a hint of nutmeg.
I was hanging from a vine with
Okay.
a spear.
And so let's see here.
Oh yeah. here's
There
your-
we go. A little bit of that. I think we had water, mustard, and
Hot sauce?
Louisiana hot sauce.
California raisins. No. Hot sauce
Again,
from Cajun.
my suggestion is,
What state's Cajun in?
What's your suggestion, Dave?
do you like mustard on hot dogs?
I don't like hot dogs.
Something like that.
I'm
Do you
not
like
a big
mustard?
I'm not a big fan of straight mustard.
What about hot sauces?
Hot sauce, I'm a baby when it comes to spicy things. All of this whole entire palette sounds insanely disgusting to me, but I'll just commit.
Well, I admire that. It shows honor and integrity.
I'll
What was
commit
that
to
dare?
what-
What was that dare show?
Yeah, it's like Fear Factor.
Fear Factor. That was what. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
If-
Okay. Nice.
From a grocery store.
You unintentionally provided me with a Fear Factor
Okay.
skit.
Okay. Edit that part out. So yeah, mustard, hot sauce, and just straight bean.
Sardine.
and I believe I'm required to eat these too.
Yes, you are required to eat
Right.
one too. So you can cook it. Now, if you'd like to have your dad try one
Yeah.
first, that would be fine.
What's the motivation behind this?
Sensory experience.
Sensory experiences.
Sensory experience.
Yeah, but it's
All right.
mirrored. You know, it's like Wilson goes to China, eats monkey brains.
Endorphins.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Endorphins.
It's all
I
about
always-
endorphins.
all right, so we'll.
No, we're not
Which one?
it's not like we're cutting ourselves here. We're having
Yeah.
sardines.
Yeah.
If I had a pencil, I'd poke my fingers.
Fingers.
Are we doing like the?
Yeah, sure.
Just throw a chunk on the crack.
Throw.
Here you go.
Throw.
You can-
You can have a mini chunk.
You
okay?
like sardines, right?
Well, I don't know. We'll find out in a minute.
Really? That's
that's-
all you're gonna do?
That's all I'm gonna do.
What the? Okay. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. All
Are
right.
you ready?
You guess so.
Oops.
Oh,
I was kind of uneventful.
a
That's
little
like
fishy.
huh?
A little fishy.
Well, it's like pulling a bullhead out of Fall Creek, and like doing a golem on
That's
it.
exactly like that.
It's like
But
Mine-
with the rich cracker,
with a rich crack.
Well,
Well,
there's character.
well, the rich cracker gives it a little bit of crunch,
a
right?
little butter to it, a little butter
A little
background.
butter, yeah.
All right, then we'll go for the butter.
Good extra flavor.
Now try the mustard sauce one.
Mustard sauce one.
All right, so you probably want some sort of microscopic.
Yeah, I want the small.
No! No,
It's not.
This
It's not
that's
a
a
lot.
different show.
It's not a lot of Fear Factor. It's only just a little bit.
This
of
is a
fear.
taste of Fear Factor.
This is like
This isn't your sample day.
this is like
We're not at Costco.
we're like slightly scared factor, right?
You gotta get a head in there, man.
Is
The
there
whole
any-
There's
head?
no head there.
I was about to say, I don't want to eat a head.
It's all abdomens.
Oh,
Oh, there's an entrail.
am
It's an
I
entrail. That's good. There you go.
an end trail? Is there also an exit trail?
There's a spine. There's-
Spines.
All right, that's
How's
fair
that-
enough.
how's that?
That's
Here,
good.
I want a real chunky stuff.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the mustard sauce is the way to go.
All right, here is the mustard sauce.
Mustard sauce.
Number 2.
All right. But
Ah, a little bit more in the back of the head feel, a little more there, a little more of a rush.
a little more tolerable.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Not too bad, huh?
Not too bad.
No, that's fine. We
That's
can,
my, that's my personal fave.
all right. Well, that's a little bit of that.
All right. On the scale of hot sauces,
Let's find out.
where is Louisiana hot sauce?
I'm sure it's nothing. They always overrate.
Is
All
that
right. All right, Dave. Here's the thing. Buffalo wings make me sweat some days.
Well,
you can get
to
buffalo.
be fair, buffalo wings make me sweat some days.
Or sorry, I'm on barbecue wings. That's
Oh,
what I meant.
barbecue.
Barbecue
Yeah.
wings.
So say some buffaloes
We're
make
at
me
the
sweat.
bottom. We are at the bottom of the totem pole. I don't think ketchup's spicy. I haven't reached that phase in my life yet, but
Cheers.
All right.
right.
I'm waiting for the
A
kick.
little bit different level there. A little bit different level.
Just a little bit of a kick.
A little bit of kick.
Yeah, it's not too much
Now,
kick.
now the fish to kick ratio,
Mhm.
the two flavors there. Where would you weigh that out at?
I would go more for the Cajun myself
Okay.
because it's got more structure of the fish.
I wouldn't go for anything.
She's over here sucking in air.
like the first one was like a water thing, right? And it's
Yeah.
It was sorry, there's a little more.
It was like a little bit soft, a little bit mushy. You know, it's not very eventful. I was looking for like a vinegar or an oil.
Yeah, it's just straight fish.
Yeah.
It's just straight sardines.
Yeah, you put a little bit of olive oil on that.
So your
maybe. I don't
favorite
know.
was the
I think the mustard.
I'd go between the mustard and the Cajun.
I'm out with that one.
You're out with it. You're out.
No,
with
I'd burn that one.
see, but
You
you notice,
you burn that.
so you notice that these are almost all intact. There's only 3 sardines in that
Yeah.
can.
See, I would feel better if even these were more intact.
Yeah. no,
I mean, these are like
that's more like a pate.
this is more like mechanically separated
This is a
fish.
flake.
Yeah.
right?
Well,
This is
no,
flake.
that's my. They
Yeah.
started out like that. They started out in the can like that
Why'd you flake
because they
these
don't come
in?
out of the can like that because of the way they're, pickled or whatever.
Yeah.
The way
Are they packed in there like
processed.
sardines?
They're packed like exactly like sardines. Exactly like sardines. And
All right.
but they come out differently because of the makeup of the the water sauces. This seems to hold them better together. That stuff does.
Do they come pre-sauced?
Yeah.
That's all.
Oh, okay,
They're,
all right. They come
they're
pre-sauced.
right out of the tin now.
Okay.
Interesting.
So all these are right out of the tin.
So if you had to have a second one,
Yeah,
it would be the
it would be the mustard.
It would be the mustard.
Yeah.
Very good, right?
All right,
Let's go.
Are you going to join us
Let's
this time?
mustard up.
we're gonna mustard up. All right.
All right. So let's here we'll all agree that a mustard is a thing. What is that?
It's a spine. You can tell it's a spine. It's just a soft spine.
Soft spine.
Soft-
How do they stand up?
They,
They don't. They bend.
how do they do cartwheels?
How do they do their fish
How do they
things
hang
if,
out?
if it's like so big?
How do they hang?
Right.
How do they hang
Do you want
out?
like a big chunk?
Oh yeah, we're loading up. These are great.
All right. Your urines are great.
It's good. Yeah.
Soft spines.
Soft spine.
Soft
All right.
spines. All right. So
Cheers.
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 Oh, look at that! Look at that pump. Look, so that's a
that's-
spine. That's a spine. See, you can see the vertebrae.
Oh,
Well, it's so bent. It's got scoliosis.
it's so soft.
Sardine scoliosis.
Sorry. There, I kid you not. The other day on Name That Snake on the neighborhood forum, somebody was looking at the snake and they were like, "Why is that snake so S-shaped? Does it have scoliosis?" They were trying to figure out if the snake had scoliosis. Anyway,
Yeah, your neighborhood.
Speaking of scoliosis, here's a pamphlet on it.
neck and back pain, scoliosis. Huh?
Nope.
Oh, good.
Delish.
Our sponsors today from the Chiropractic Institute.
Do you have neck?
You have neck and back pain. Is your spine not straight?
Yeah.
Since it's soft.
Do you slouch?
I used to go to this chiropractor, and he used to hate it because I'd walk in and I'd say, "I like a good Kraken today."
Yeah.
And so he'd bring out the Kraken.
Right at the Kraken.
He was like, "It's an adjustment." I'm like, "It's not an adjustment, it's a Kraken."
Spine Mindless bastard.
By the time you got done, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, look. She's speechless.
She's like,
See?
nah.
No thanks.
But they're gutted.
Who do you think they are?
Would you spend time gutting these little guys?
They hire women with tiny hands. So, they're like
With tiny hands and tiny instruments.
tiny hands, tiny instruments, and a little.
Big scalpels.
They got their glasses on like this. And they're like, that one's done. Marge. All right. Well, thanks for our tasting today, Dave. That was certainly an
Thanks, Dave,
experience
right?
and a culinary extravaganza.
Delicious.
Oh, Mark.